This is Murad Özver again. Here you're going to find a video clip about the experimentation and contemplation as well as research about the relationships between the thumb release and the aerodynamics. There are some debate on the archery forums for some time how the thumb release affects the aerodynamics, and especially for the archers on field, they are actually wondering what kind of spine spectrum is applicable to thumb release. And I have been lucky enough actually to have met some academics from the sports department of Haliç University, and we completed also a biomechanical assessment of thumb release by modeling the thumb release by using the infrared speed cams. So it has been also presented in a military history workshop as well as in a congress of sports sciences. But beforehand, in the last winter, I have experimented with the release, especially with the movement of the bow hand during release, and how it influences the arrow flight and aerodynamics, especially the inner ballistics of the arrow, which is the characteristics of the shafts flexing during the release. Technically, it's possible to shoot arrows with no fletching at longer distances. For example, the Olympic recurve shooters shoot at 18 meters to tune their equipment. But remember that they have center shot bows, and the arrows are spine matched, and they have some other aid like clickers and stabilizers, etc. But when you're using a traditional bow, it's all your skill and how you perform the technique actually. Here I'm using a 50-pound Turkish bow replica with 2018 aluminum shafts, and the distance is 18 meters. There is nothing to help actually for the straight flying of the arrows. This is all about the thumb release and the HIJRAH, or the movement of the bow hand during the release. HIJRAH is an Arabic word and adopted by Turks as well. And as far as we could get from the old treatises and from the current traditions that are similar to that of the Turkish tradition, we know that there are two main types of HIJRAH which I'm going to demonstrate. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to shoot at 18 meters with bare shafts. Okay, I don't know whether the camera could catch the flights of the arrow, but we're going to see what kind of grouping we have with the arrows from 18 meters. As you see, these three arrows have a very consistent grouping here on the left side. As told, the thumb release requires a little bit higher spine. But as you see, the deviation is quite low, approximately 15 centimeters or so, and the grouping shows that the flight was quite consistent. It's a common belief that thumb release requires a little bit higher spine, stiffer shafts, but how stiff or how stiffer, or what kind of spine spectrum is applicable to thumb release. For example, I have a 38-pounder in my hand, which is 41 pound at my jaw, and I have two different spine shafts here. One of them is 0.500 deflection carbon arrow, and the other one is 0.500 deflection. I'm going to shoot both of them from 180 centimeters, which is the distance for the compound bows to tune the arrow flight. So it's quite a short distance, and the thumb release technically is similar to that of a mechanical release aid. So we're going to see how it works from such a short distance. Now I'm going to shoot the 500 spine shaft first. As you see, the flight is perfectly straight. And now I'm going to shoot the 500 deflection shaft, which is a little bit underspined. As you see that the underspined shaft had another type of tear, which shows the lower spine at this equipment, which means that the 500 deflection is a little bit underspined for the 41-pound ball from that distance. There are two types of HIJRAH as described in all treatises. One of them is a forward tilt of the ball during the release, and the other one is an outward jump of the ball. Okay, I'm going to show you how HIJRAH, or the movement of the bow hand, makes the difference in arrow flight. Here I have the 500 deflection shafts again, and I'm going to shoot them with two different HIJRAHs, and you're going to see how the arrow flight changes dramatically. First, the forward roll of the ball. Now I'm going to shoot the same spine of the shaft, another 500-inch deflection shaft with the other HIJRAH. You see, the same distance, same ball, same arrow, same draw length, everything is identical, but the arrow flight is completely different. So it shows that the movement of the left hand, or HIJRAH as it's called in Arabic and Turkish archery literature, is of utmost importance. And now this is the 500 deflection shaft. Now I'm going to try to perform a better HIJRAH. So we're going to see whether it's technically possible to play with the dynamic spine of the shaft by just changing the characteristics of HIJRAH. Okay. Can you come closer? That was the previous shot, and shows a tear that proves that the arrow was a little bit underspun. Now you see here a more or less perfect tear, the same shaft, but a more carefully executed HIJRAH here. Actually, it's a proof that HIJRAH, or the movement of the bow hand, makes all the difference in arrow flight together with the release hand. Turkish traditional bows, or the other bows of tumbling culture, they are not center cut. So the archer's paradox is necessary actually, but the excessive archer's paradox is something unwanted, especially if you want to save the energy which was stored on a bow and transferred as a kinetic energy to the arrow. So if you save this energy, then the initial speed of the arrow, the initial velocity of the arrow is high, which actually we showed with chronograph measurements. We showed that solid thumb ring increases the initial velocity as much as 6.4%. So anyway, although the bows are not center cut, the original authentic Turkish arrows are barreled arrows. The shafts are barreled. So at full draw, the point of the arrow is closer to the riser, which acts actually like a center cut riser. But the main role is played by thumb release, not by the characteristics of the shaft.
They say this is for eternity. Well, I'm so in love with this idea. If you believe we were meant to be, let's celebrate all the love we feel. We know this is for eternity. Well, I think we got the right recipe. When we go out, you can count me in, count me in. We'll hit the road and you'll watch me spin. You show it off just to make the door.